10 parchment paper brands avoid at all costs. Right now, in your kitchen drawer, there's something dangerous hiding in plain sight. That roll of parchment paper you use every Sunday for cookies? It's coated with chemicals that Europe banned over a decade ago. The same compounds behind billion-dollar lawsuits, the same toxins contaminating drinking water across America. Reynolds, Walmart, Whole Foods, brands you've trusted for years are coating their paper with chromium, PFAS, forever chemicals, and chlorine byproducts. Your grandmother used this paper. Your mother swore by it. But they didn't know what we know now. This isn't fear-mongering. This is the truth manufacturers pray you never discover. That $3 Walmart roll, there's a reason it's so cheap. That premium Reynolds package, same poison, higher price. Stay until the end. I'll expose every brand selling you contaminated paper, reveal exactly what's touching your family's food, and show you the 2 alternatives that are actually safe. The choice is yours, but first you need to see what they've been hiding. Number 1. Amazon's parchment paper gamble, when nobody takes responsibility. Open Amazon right now, type parchment paper in the search bar. Look at what floods your screen. Dozens of brands you've never heard of, names that sound vaguely kitchen-related but mean nothing. Pre-Cut, EcoChef, Bake Pro, Kitchen Plus. The photographs all look identical. The packaging could be twins. And there, glowing beside each listing, that reassuring badge, Amazon's Choice. 4.5 stars, thousands of reviews, $6 to $8 for a massive roll that seems to last forever. It looks like a deal. It feels like a smart choice. It's actually a gamble with your family's health, and here's why. Pull out a sheet from one of these mystery brands. Hold it up to the light. See how the thickness varies across the surface? Those thin spots aren't consistent quality control. They're evidence of factories that ship whatever passes minimum inspection. Now smell the paper. Sometimes it's neutral, fine, perfectly normal. But order that same exact brand 3 months later, and you might open the box to a chemical smell, almost like plastic, almost like solvent. Different batch, different supplier, different factory, same brand name, same Amazon listing, same bestseller badge. That inconsistency tells you everything about what you're actually buying. These products come from Chinese manufacturing facilities you cannot verify, imported by companies that exist only as Amazon storefronts. When problems arise, the seller blames the factory. The factory blames the seller's specifications, and you, the customer, have no way to know what's actually coating that paper. Is it Quilon, the chromium-based coating that Europe rejected? Is it cheap silicone that might contain heavy metal contamination? Is it PFAS, the forever chemicals at the center of massive environmental lawsuits? You have no way to know. No disclosure, no testing, no accountability. The product changes, the factory changes, but the listing stays the same, accumulating more 5-star reviews that mean absolutely nothing.
Whole Foods betrayal, when the halo effect blinds you. Whole Foods, the name itself is a promise. This is the store for people who read every label, who avoid artificial ingredients religiously, who willingly pay premium prices because they genuinely care what enters their bodies and their children's bodies. Walking through those doors isn't just shopping, it's a statement about values. You're choosing health over convenience, quality over cost, purity over profit. So when you reach for 365 everyday value, Whole Foods house brand, you're not just buying parchment paper, you're buying trust. The trust that Whole Foods spent decades carefully building, the assumption that their house brand represents everything the store claims to stand for. Pull out a sheet of 365 parchment paper right now. Look at that color, bright white, unnaturally white, whiter than paper has any right to be. That brilliant white doesn't occur in nature. Paper comes from wood pulp. Wood pulp is brown, tan, earthy colors. To achieve that pristine, almost blinding white, manufacturers bleach with chlorine, and chlorine bleaching creates dioxins as byproducts. Dioxins are among the most toxic compounds known to science. The EPA classifies them as likely human carcinogens. They accumulate in body fat. They don't break down in your body or the environment. They persist for years, decades even. And when chlorine-bleached paper heats in your oven, trace dioxins can potentially release into the air and onto your food. Now, the levels fall within regulatory limits, but here's what Whole Foods won't tell you. Some researchers argue there's no truly safe level of dioxin exposure, 0. Any amount adds to your lifetime toxic burden. And unbleached parchment paper exists, brown, natural color, no chlorine, no dioxins. Whole Foods could stock only unbleached options. They choose to sell bleached paper instead, because white looks cleaner to consumers, and consumer ignorance remains profitable. King Arthur's silence, when transparency champions refuse to answer. King Arthur Bacon Company, founded in 1790, America's oldest flour company. For over 230 years, they've been the undisputed authority on baking. Their recipes are gospel among serious home bakers. Their techniques set the gold standard. Their website contains thousands of detailed posts explaining every nuance of baking science, gluten development, flour protein content, leavening chemistry, fermentation timing. They teach you everything about baking, every detail, every variable, every molecular interaction you could possibly want to understand.
Everything except one critical thing. Unwrap their parchment paper. Notice the bright white color. Chlorine bleached, just like 365. Feel the coating. Slick, smooth, perfectly non-stick. Some chemical is touching your croissants, your cookies, your artisan sourdough bread. What coating exactly? Consumer advocacy groups asked King Arthur directly. Simple questions. Is your parchment Quilon-free? Is it PFAS-free? What coating do you use on paper touching customers' food? King Arthur refused to answer. Proprietary information, supplier confidentiality, competitive concerns. The company that publishes 47-page guides on sourdough starters won't tell you what's coating their parchment paper. That refusal is damning and calculated. If King Arthur used food-grade silicone without Quilon or PFAS, they'd say so immediately. That would be a competitive advantage, a marketing opportunity. The fact they won't confirm suggests they're using something they don't want to publicly defend. Think about the contradiction. King Arthur teaches you the exact protein percentage for perfect pizza dough. They explain egg wash versus butter wash science. Education is their entire brand identity. But ask what chemical coats their paper? Suddenly it's proprietary. Suddenly transparency has limits. Education builds loyalty. Secrecy protects margins. King Arthur chose secrecy when transparency would have cost nothing, unless they're hiding something worth hiding. 12 years. 12 years since European regulatory pressure. 12 years of Reynolds selling Americans a coating formulation they won't sell to Europeans. 12 years of a company doing over $3 billion in annual revenue deciding that a few cents per box matters more than reformulating for American families. Same company, same product name, same packaging design. Different formulas for different continents. Europeans get protection. Americans get profit-driven chemistry. Reynolds decided your health is worth less than a European's health. They made that decision in spreadsheets. They calculated your ignorance into their profit margins, and they've been executing that calculation for over a decade while you lined your cookie sheets thinking the trusted brand meant safe product. The betrayal isn't that they used Quilon. The betrayal is that they have the safe alternative. They're manufacturing it right now for other markets, and they looked at American consumers and decided we don't deserve it. Not for 5 cents, not for a nickel, not for you. 6. Walmart's great value, when $3 tells you everything. Walmart's great value parchment paper. Walmart's house brand, $3 for 30 square feet. The cheapest parchment paper in America.
For budget families going through rolls every week, for households doing meal prep Sundays and daily sheet pan dinners, for anyone stretching every dollar, that price feels like a lifeline. It's not a lifeline. It's a calculated trade-off, and you are paying the real cost. Pull out a sheet right now. Run your fingers across the surface. Feel that slick, waxy coating. That's not paper, that's chemistry. Without that coating, parchment would stick to everything. The coating is the product. The paper is just the delivery system. Flip the box over. Look for coating information. Not there. Manufacturing details? Nothing. Any disclosure about what chemical touches your food? Silence. That silence is strategic. If Walmart printed Quilon coated on the box, informed consumers would walk away. So they print nothing and hope you don't ask. Quilon is a chromium-based coating. It's cheaper than silicone. That's why budget brands use it. The European Union has discouraged Quilon for food contact since around 2012. Over a decade ago, European regulators decided chromium compounds raised enough concerns that manufacturers should avoid them for surfaces touching food. America decided Walmart's margins matter more. When you heat Quilon to baking temperatures, 350, 400, 450 degrees, it can break down. The breakdown products include chromium compounds. You know where you've heard about hexavalent chromium before. Aaron Brockovich, the Pacific Gas and Electric case, the chemical that contaminated Hinckley, California's drinking water and caused a cancer cluster that cost PG&E $333 million in settlements. The same class of chromium compound. Now it's coating your cookie sheet. $3 at Walmart.
7. Reynolds Non-Stick. When premium pricing buys you forever chemicals. Reynolds Kitchen's non-stick parchment paper. Not regular Reynolds. This is the premium variety. Special. Marketed as superior release and easier cleanup. Costs more than standard Reynolds parchment. The packaging promises ultimate convenience. Nothing sticks. Everything slides off like magic. Must be better, right? It's worse. Much worse. That superior non-stick performance comes from PFAS, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, forever chemicals. The same class of compounds contaminating drinking water in communities across America. The same chemicals at the center of class action lawsuits that cost DuPont $671 million. The same toxins that forced 3M to pay $10.3 billion in settlements. Cancer, thyroid disease, immune system damage, developmental problems in children, all linked to PFAS exposure in scientific literature. In 2021, independent testing analyzed non-stick food packaging. Reynolds non-stick parchment tested positive for PFAS in the coating. The chemicals being removed from cookware because mounting evidence suggests they're dangerous are being applied to disposable paper you throw away after one use. PFAS don't break down, not in the environment, not in your body, not in 100 years, not ever. That's why they're called forever chemicals. They accumulate in your bloodstream, your liver, your kidneys, your brain. Every exposure adds to your lifetime burden. The chemicals you absorb from today's batch of cookies will still be in your body decades from now. When you bake cookies on this paper, heat causes PFAS to potentially migrate into food. When you roast vegetables thinking you're eating healthy, forever chemicals may transfer to every piece of broccoli, every carrot, every Brussels sprout. When you use this paper once and throw it away, PFAS leach into landfills and contaminate groundwater. Maximum exposure to you, maximum contamination to the environment, maximum profit to Reynolds. Open a package and use it once. Nothing sticks. Cookies slide off like magic. Roasted vegetables release perfectly. That's PFAS working. That's the same chemistry that made Teflon pans controversial. That's the same coating approach that caused health concerns in manufacturing workers.
That's the same compound that communities are spending billions to filter from their drinking water. Now it's on disposable paper, used once, thrown away, exposing you and poisoning the environment simultaneously. Reynolds saw an opportunity: create a premium tier by adding PFAS coating, charge more for superior non-stick performance, market convenience while hiding contamination. Consumers pay extra for the privilege of accumulating forever chemicals. The European Union is moving to restrict PFAS in all food contact materials. Some U.S. states have started implementing their own restrictions. Federal regulations haven't fully caught up. Reynolds exploits that gap, selling Europeans cleaner products, while Americans get forever chemicals with every batch of cookies.
For home bakers using this weekly for convenience, that convenience is PFAS accumulating in your body forever. For families roasting vegetables thinking they're cooking healthy, the paper may be contaminating the food. For anyone who switched from non-stick pans to avoid PFAS but still uses this parchment, you're getting similar exposure through your baking paper. For parents baking cookies with kids, your children may be absorbing forever chemicals through their chocolate chip cookies. This is one of the most popular premium parchment papers in America. PFAS in every sheet, accumulating in bodies, potentially contaminating landfills, non-stick convenience, forever chemicals in your system, potentially for life. Reynolds made a premium product by adding the exact chemicals that environmental lawyers are fighting billion-dollar battles over, and they're charging you more for it. The hidden economics: why safe parchment actually costs less. Here's what parchment paper brands hope you never calculate: cost per use, not cost per roll. That $3 great value Quilon-coated parchment from Walmart is single-use only. One bake, one sheet, straight into the trash. 30 square feet total. The low price comes from Quilon chemistry that degrades under heat and can't be safely reused. Now compare that to silicone-coated, unbleached parchment from safer brands. Yes, it costs $8 to $10 per roll, but unlike Quilon paper, it can be reused 3 to 10 times, depending on what you bake. Reuse each sheet just 3 times, and that same roll suddenly delivers 90 to 120 square feet of actual use. The expensive option instantly becomes cheaper over time, without chromium compounds touching your food. Cookies, light roasting, pastries. Wipe the sheet clean and reuse it 3 to 5 times. When it browns or degrades, discard it. Those extra uses completely change the economics. For families watching their budget, this matters. Safe isn't more expensive long-term. Unsafe only looks cheaper up front. Walmart doesn't advertise that Quilon paper is single-use, and safer brands rarely highlight reusability, so consumers keep overspending without realizing it. The most economical option of all? Silicone baking mats like Silpat. A $20 to $30 mat replaces roughly 2,000 sheets of parchment, paying for itself within months. Cost per roll is marketing, cost per use is reality, and safe options win every time. The disposal truth: where your safe choice actually ends up. Even if you switch to unbleached silicone-coated parchment from Beyond Gourmet or similar safe brands, there's one more truth worth knowing, the truth the eco-friendly marketing carefully avoids. Silicone-coated parchment, even the safe, unbleached kind, is not recyclable. That silicone coating prevents recycling facilities from processing it, and it's not truly compostable either. Food-grade silicone is chemically inert, which is exactly why it's safe for food contact. But that same chemical stability means it doesn't biodegrade. It breaks down into microscopic synthetic particles that persist in compost. Only truly uncoated parchment, or specifically BPI-certified compostable parchment, actually biodegrades, and those options are rare, with limited non-stick properties. This doesn't mean you shouldn't switch to safe silicone-coated parchment. You absolutely should. PFAS in your body forever is worse than silicone particles in a landfill. chromium compounds in your food are worse than non-recyclable paper in the trash, the health choice is clear. But if zero waste matters to you, if environmental impact ranks high in your values, then the only real answer is reusable silicone baking mats. They're the only option that eliminates the disposal problem entirely. Unbleached silicone parchment is safe for your body, but still generates waste. It's better than the alternatives, but it's not perfect. Honest information means acknowledging that. Safe for you doesn't automatically mean safe for the planet. These are separate calculations, and you deserve to make informed decisions on both. The parchment paper industry has worked hard to position their products as eco-friendly. Brown color suggests natural, unbleached sounds environmental. But read the fine print, ask about end-of-life disposal, demand transparency about coating chemistry and environmental impact, because green marketing often covers half the truth. How to actually identify safe parchment, the Label Detective Guide. You're standing in the grocery store aisle. Boxes of parchment paper line the shelf. Reynolds, If You Care, store brands, King Arthur. How do you actually know what you're buying when most packages deliberately obscure coating information? Here's your field guide. First, look at color. Brown or tan parchment means unbleached, no chlorine processing, no dioxin creation. Bright white means chlorine bleaching happened. This is your fastest visual screening tool. Second, check for explicit safety labels. Look for quilon-free, chromium-free, PFAS-free, TCF, which stands for totally chlorine-free. These labels exist on safe brands. They're rare, but they exist. If you see them, that's a green light. Third, look for silicone coated on the package. Silicone is generally safer than quilon or PFAS. If it explicitly says silicone coating, that's typically better than mystery coating. Though, as we discussed with If You Care, you'd ideally want food-grade silicone specification. Fourth, if the package says nothing about coating, walk away. Silence means they're hiding something. Legitimate, safe manufacturers proudly disclose coating type because it's a competitive advantage. If they're not telling you, there's a reason.
Fifth, avoid anything labeled non-stick without specifying how it achieves that property. Non-stick without explanation often means PFAS. Reynolds non-stick proved that. If they're bragging about superior non-stick performance but won't tell you what coating creates it, assume the worst. This isn't foolproof. Companies can still mislead. Labeling requirements in America are inadequate. But these 5 rules give you more power than walking in blind, trusting brand names and hoping for the best. The real solution is regulatory reform requiring full disclosure of food contact coatings. Until that happens, you're left playing detective in the grocery aisle. But now you know what to look for. Now you know what questions to ask. Now you can make informed choices instead of trusting marketing copy written by the same companies selling you chromium. The 2 actually safe choices: what to buy instead. You've thrown out the Reynolds, you've discarded the Great Value. You're done gambling with Amazon mystery brands. You're not touching King Arthur until they answer basic questions. What do you actually buy? Safe choice 1. Beyond Gourmet Unbleached Parchment Paper. Made in France under EU regulations, the same strict standards that discouraged quilon and are moving to restrict PFAS entirely. When you buy Beyond Gourmet, you're not buying American minimum standards, you're buying European safety requirements. The standards Reynolds refuses to meet for American consumers. Unbleached brown paper. No chlorine processing, no dioxins, no carcinogenic byproducts from bleaching. Food-grade silicone coating, verified quilon-free, verified PFAS-free, third-party tested and certified safe for food contact. Unroll a sheet. Notice the natural tan color. That's what parchment looks like without chemical bleaching. Feel the surface, smooth, genuinely non-stick, but without the waxy chemical feel of quilon coating. Put it in a 400-degree oven, and there's no chemical smell, nothing releasing, nothing migrating, just paper and safe silicone doing their job. The quality difference is obvious. Consistent thickness throughout the roll, no thin spots, no coating irregularities, no batch-to-batch variation. European manufacturing standards show in every single sheet. Compare it to Reynolds. Same non-stick performance, same easy release, same convenient baking, zero chromium, zero PFAS, zero chlorine byproducts. And because it's silicone-coated, you can reuse each sheet 3 to 5 times, making the higher upfront cost economically competitive with toxic alternatives. Price, $8 to $10 for 71 square feet. That's about $4 more than Reynolds. $4 for verified safety. $4 to avoid forever chemicals. $4 to not bake your kids' cookies on chromium compounds European manufacturers won't use. Available at specialty kitchen stores and online.
Safe Choice 2 Paper Chef Culinary Parchment. For those wanting the absolute cleanest option, Paper Chef takes a completely different approach. Their parchment is made from lotus leaves instead of wood pulp. Lotus leaves are naturally non-stick. The plant evolved that way. Water beads off, nothing adheres, the surface repels everything naturally. This natural property means minimal coating required. Light food-grade silicone instead of heavy chemical layers. Pull out a sheet and the difference is immediate. More fibrous texture than traditional parchment, less uniform appearance, clearly plant-based. This isn't processed wood pulp bleached and coated. This is leaves pressed into baking paper. The performance is excellent. Clean release, no sticking, no chemical smell during baking, no contamination concerns. Cookies slide off. Vegetables release perfectly. Everything Reynolds promises without anything Reynolds hides. Compostable when you're done, unlike silicone-coated options. Chlorine-free from start to finish, minimal processing throughout. This is what parchment paper looks like when safety matters more than profit margins and convenience matters less than contamination. For those prioritizing absolute purity, lotus leaves require fewer chemicals than any wood pulp processing. For eco-conscious bakers wanting truly sustainable options, this actually composts completely. For anyone who wants the cleanest possible surface touching their food, plant-based parchment is the answer. Price: $12 to $14 for 70 square feet. Premium pricing for premium purity. Worth it for families who bake frequently and want zero compromises. Available at high-end kitchen stores and online.